In the future, people create their own backups to become immortal. But something went wrong, and it led to completely opposite results. The events of the film take place in the near future in Central Europe. Due to a large number of crimes, people have the right to be brought back to life in the case of unnatural death. This unique technology is called a backup. To use it, people need to save their consciousness data every 48 hours. Detective Emma arrives at the scene of yet another crime. Looking around and scanning the area, she hears gunshots and runs to catch the criminals. Unfortunately, she arrives too late. Emma notices a strange man who wants to leave the building. He shouts that the backup is unreliable, that he is not afraid to die, then goes up to the roof and jumps down. At home, Emma is playing the piano. Her husband, Peter, arrives and plays a recording of his concert, since his beloved plays very poorly. He is a famous composer. Emma creates herself a new backup copy and learns that she is being summoned to the police station. She gets into her luxurious service car and heads to work. On the way, Emma listens to a news report about yesterday's crime. Authorities are confident that members of a group called River of Life, who are against the use of backups, are involved. At work, Emma is reprimanded because she failed to catch a dangerous criminal. Her boss thinks that she is still grieving over the tragic death of her husband. It turns out that Peter died 2 years ago, and we only saw his hologram. Emma tells her boss that people were held hostage for 2 days to let their backup copies expire before they were sent to the beyond. Emma goes to another crime scene. The next victims of the criminal were a married couple, David and Christina Curl. A strange bracelet draws attention, and surprisingly, neither David nor Christina had backups. That means they cannot be brought back to life. Soon, the management of the restoration company decides to privatize it. People will receive a personal console for saving data in real time. Each person will choose the price and level of service. Detective Emma talks to the head of this company, Rohan. He doesn't like the curious policewoman very much, so he asks his assistant, Petra Leggero, to answer all the detective's questions. And then he leaves. Emma is shown how they bring a boy who was in a car accident back to life. It's a real miracle. Petra is sure that David updated his backup copy yesterday, but the system was hacked and all the data was deleted. However, Christina hadn't made any backups for the last 4 months. Moreover, the day before she died, she talked on the phone with a certain Victor Topher, who was associated with the River of Life group. In Victor's photos, Emma sees the same bracelet she found at the crime scene. She immediately requests a warrant for his arrest. Emma goes down to the parking garage and unexpectedly meets there the very much alive David Curl. He is upset and requests a personal conversation without cameras. He also wants to take something from his home and needs her help. Emma picks up David and, on the way, learns that he was restored from old backup copies on unofficial servers. There are many side effects of this process, and there's no guarantee that he will live long. Arriving at Victor's house, Emma locks David in her car and sneaks into the hacker's house. While she creeps up the stairs, David manages to unlock the door and get out of the car. The detective finds Victor and tells him that he is under arrest. The man hands her a flash drive. At that moment, David enters the room. Victor claims that it was David who killed his wife, while he, on the contrary, was trying to save her. A fight breaks out between the men, and Victor manages to escape. Emma chases after him but cannot catch him. She pulls out a gun but fires into the air, and a few moments later falls off a small cliff. She almost drowns after getting caught in some dry tree branches, but David saves her. He offers to meet Emma under a bridge in half an hour and promises to explain everything. FBI and Europol agents, led by Agent Mansfield, arrive at Victor's house. The man offers our heroine cooperation, though she is not thrilled. Emma soon meets David at an empty place under a bridge. The man tells her that Victor's flash drive is one of 3 keys to full access to the system, and with it, the database can be hacked. Only he, Rohan, and Christina knew about the key's existence. David begs Emma to take him home, and she agrees. Using a home computer, the scientist discovers that a virus has infiltrated the Institute's database, randomly deleting backup copies. They find a hidden cache behind one of the paintings, but before they can open it, Europol arrives at the house, and they need to leave before they are noticed. David has to inject himself with special shots. He has what is called Frankenstein syndrome. His cellular memory does not match his brain memory, so his body quickly deteriorates. That's why outdated backups can't be used. David reviews his last memories. At first, it seems they were happy together, but in reality, Christina wanted a child, while her husband constantly refused since he was too busy with work. It looks like that was why Christina started an affair with Victor. Emma returns to the Recovery Institute and meets with Agent Mansfield there. Rohan appears and admits that he used an old backup to restore David and solve the problem of a dangerous virus. The first cases of people dying, unable to be restored due to the virus destroying their backups, have already been recorded in the country. Rohan demands that the police and Europol urgently find David and catch Victor. Emma returns home and sees that David is even worse off. Agent Mansfield arrives. She hides the scientist in her bedroom. Mansfield is confident that David is here and starts insulting Christina to provoke him. His plan works. David shows up and starts a fight. Mansfield grabs the scientist, pulls out a gun, and plans to get rid of Emma. She uses her husband's hologram to distract Mansfield and lunges at him. Just as he's about to pull the trigger, David saves her once more. Emma fends off Mansfield. She and David head out of town in search of Victor and drag themselves into an underground bar where various criminals and outcasts are having fun. Emma uses a personality scanner and learns that Victor is probably hiding at his aunt's, Teresa Dudka's place. They head there. The woman assures them that she doesn't know where her nephew is, but knows who they are. After all, Emma and David's portraits have been published in all the newspapers, and they are wanted as highly dangerous criminals. Despite that, Teresa invites our heroes in and claims that the River of Life organization doesn't exist. It's an illusion created by fear. Victor and Teresa's associates don't kill anyone, as that can only be done to a living person. They only erase backup copies to not violate the law of life. David is getting worse, and they decide to spend the night at Teresa's place. David plays a piano composition that Emma's husband loved. The man confesses that he never knew how to play the piano. During restoration, a skill was implanted into his memory. This gift program wasn't approved for general use because people would abuse it. In the middle of the night, Emma goes scouting. It seems Victor is really hiding here. Our heroine wakes David and wants to update her backup copy, but she can't do it, or they'll be found, and Emma feels truly alive for the first time. They spot Victor's car on the road and pursue it. The man heads into some kind of temple. Emma bursts in and finds Teresa there. The detective demands that Victor be given over to her. Teresa says her nephew is innocent and turns on the news report about Petra Legero's death. Her backup had been erased. Teresa lets Emma meet Victor. The detective finds the man on the second floor and cuffs him. Victor claims that the River of Life was invented by the Recovery Institute's employees to scare their clients. The fear of death makes people do anything and pay any money for insurance. According to Victor, the evidence against the Institute is in the Curls house, hidden in a cache. David is coughing uncontrollably, and Teresa gives him a glass of water. While drinking, she shocks him and drags him upstairs. She demands Emma let Victor go in exchange for saving David's life. Victor escapes once more, and Emma is forced to chase after him again. This time, she has the courage to use her weapon. Victor gets hit by a car, and Emma sees he's about to die, quickly making a backup of his data. She wants to restore Victor, as she needs information. Emma and David secretly make their way to the university research lab. The scientist uses a backup disc, connects Victor to some tubes, and immerses him in a special solution. The recovery process begins. Emma calls her boss and asks him for help. All of Victor's cells are renewing, and his organs gradually resume functioning. He's pulled out of the solution bath and placed on a gurney. Victor coughs, while David and Emma quickly make backup copies of their data. All this information is sent to Rohan, who immediately heads to the university. Victor comes around and admits that during the virus infiltration, he extracted encrypted payments from the database for every terrorist act committed by the River of Life, which were paid by the Institute itself. Victor gave all this data to Christina. David found out, hid the data in his safe, and planned to eliminate his wife. He saved an old backup copy of Christina to restore her before she met Victor. However, Victor erased everything and took the disc with the last backup of Christina. Agent Mansfield appears with a gun in hand. He gets rid of Victor, takes Emma's backup copy, and shoots David. Taking advantage, Emma starts creating another backup copy of herself, which Mansfield doesn't notice, and he shoots her again. The FBI arrives at the university, while Rohan breaks into David's house and opens his safe. Emma's boss appears behind him and arrests him, as she managed to create another backup copy, making her return easy. It turns out David was also restored. Now the police face a moral dilemma. This man killed his wife, and at the same time technically hasn't yet done it. It is unclear whether to punish him or not. Christina's funeral takes place. After it, Emma approaches David and hands him an old backup of Christina, not to bring her back, but for the valuable memories. Emma returns home and sees that David has gifted her a new piano. She sits at the instrument and easily plays the most complex part. This is a gift from David, a special talent in memory of her late husband.